And this is the 10 o'clock news channel on Channel 15. Our big story tonight is about the Crusades. Most people know the Crusades, but they do not know the details of this event. Tonight, we will inform you what happened during the Crusades, what caused the event, and the effects on the Catholic Church. We will first be hearing from Nicole, who will tell you what the Crusades were all about.
The Crusades were a holy war launched by the Christian states of Europe against the Saracens. It all started in 1095 when Pope Clermont preached the first crusade at the Council of Clermont. The Crusades were a great expedition undertaken by the Christian nation of Europe for the purpose of rescuing the Holy Lands of Palestine from the hands of Mohammedans. There were 8 different crusades. The first 4 were called Principal Crusades, and the remaining 4 were the Minor Crusades. Taylor will now tell you what caused the Crusades.
Thankful. The reason for the Crusades was the war between Christians and Muslims, which centered around the city of Jerusalem. The church and the holy sculpture in Jerusalem commemorated the hill of crucifixion, and the tomb of Christ's burial was visited by pilgrims. In 1065, Jerusalem was taken by the Turks, and 3,000 Christians were massacred, starting a chain of events that contributed to the cause of the Crusades.
Hi, didn't see you there. Lol. Absolutely riveting stuff, girls. In our next story, we will discuss what objective of the Crusades. That doesn't even make any sense, but I'm still going to read on. The objectives of the Crusades was to first release the Holy Land, in particular Jerusalem, from the Saracens, but in time was extended to seizing Spain from the Moors, the Slavs from the pagans, from Eastern Europe, and the islands of the Mediterranean.
Check out the first Crusades, everyone.
Hold on. I'm getting information from our channel Twitter. Just in. I have information on the second crusade.
Holy hot tamales! Go ahead and tell the viewers.
The success of the Christians in the first crusade has been largely due to the disunion among their enemies. But the Muslims learned that in time the value of united action, and in 1144 AD succeeded in capturing Edessa, one of the principal Christian outposts in the east. The fall of the city of Edessa, followed by the loss of the entire country of Edessa, aroused Western Europe to the danger which threatened the Latin kingdom of Jerusalem and led to another crusading empire.
My sword is so small I can never defend myself.
Have no fear. The sword extender is here. Are you tired of getting wrecked when you're going on crusades like her? Are you ashamed of your tiny sword? Are all of your enemy's swords bigger than yours? Well then, you're lucky. We have the beautiful sword extender. Go from this sword to this sword. Call now. Sweet biscuits, that's absolutely fantastic. But I've just received word that Nicole knows a ton about the Third Crusade. Nicole?
Pizza Picasso, boy oh boy, do I have the information that you need. Not many years after the Second Crusade, the Muslim world found in the famous Saladin a leader for a holy war against the Christians. Saladin in character was a typical Mohammedan, very devout in prayers and fasting. Fiercely hostile toward unbelievers and full of the pride of race, the Third Crusade was caused by the capture of Jerusalem in 1187 by Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt.
Nicole, you never cease to amaze me. Lols. In the headlines tonight, the Fourth Crusades. The real author of the Fourth Crusade was the famous Pope Innocent III, young, enthusiastic, and ambitious for glory of the papacy. He received the plans of Pope Urban II and sought out more to unite the forces of Christendom against Islam. No emperor or king answered his summons, but a number of knights, chiefly French, took the Crusaders' vow. None of the Crusaders, after the Third, effected much in the Holy Land. Either their force was spent before reaching it, or they were diverted from their purpose by different objectives and ambitions. The Crusaders of the Fourth Expedition captured Constantinople instead of Jerusalem.
Oh.
Welcome back, actually. Hi, Mr. Fagan. Now, for the rest of the Crusades, over to you, Taylor.
The last 4 expeditions, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th Crusades, were undertaken by the Christians of Europe against infidels of the East, may be conveniently grouped as the Minor Crusades. The Minor Crusades were marked by less fervent and holy enthusiasm that which characterized the first movement, and exhibit among those taking part in the greatest variety of objects and ambitions. The Fifth Crusade, 1216 to 1220, was led by the king of Hungary and Cyprus. Its strength was wasted in Egypt.
You good, dude?
Josh, I'm really sorry.
It's okay. Continue with the news report.
Should I start over?
No, keep going. This is gold.
Was led by the kings of Hungary and Cyprus. Its strength was wasted in Egypt, and it resulted in nothing. The Sixth Crusade, 1227 to 1229, headed by Frederick II of Germany, succeeded in securing from the sacred the restoration of Jerusalem, together with several of the other cities in Palestine.
Lolling.
We're lolling.
Would you
The Seventh Crusade, 1249-1254, was under the lead of Louis IV of France, surnamed the Saint. The Eighth Crusade, 1270, was incited by the fresh misfortunes that, toward the close of the 13th century, befell the Christian kingdom in Palestine. The leader of the Eighth Crusade was King Louis IV of France. King Louis IV directed his forces against the Moors about Tunis in North Africa. Here the king died of plague. Nothing was affected by this crusade. The Ninth Crusade, 1271 to 1272, was also incited by misfortunes that, toward the close of the 13th century, befell the Christian kingdom in Palestine. The leader of the Crusades was Prince Edward of England, afterwards King Edward I. The English prince was, however, more fortunate than the ill-fated King Louis IV. Edward succeeded in capturing Nazareth and in compelling the Sultan of Egypt to agree to a treaty favorable to the Christians in the last crusade.
To wrap things off in tonight's show, we will send you to our specialista in the field. Nicole?
Hey guys, I'm really excited to have the opportunity to report on such a fascinating subject. By the way, feel free to follow Josh on Twitter, at J Egler on Twitter. Now on to my report. The Crusades contributed to increase the wealth of the Church and the power of the papacy. Thus, the prominent part which the popes took in the enterprise naturally fostered their authority and influence, by placing in their hands the armies and resources of Christendom and accustoming the people to look to them as guides and leaders. Of the churches and monasteries, this was argumented enormously by the sale to them, often for a mere fraction of their actual value of the estates of those preparing for the expedition, or by the out-and-out gifts of the land of such in return for prayers and pious? Stop it. Shut up.
Pious. Just continue. Yeah, I'll just cut it. I'll just cut it out.
Pious benedications. Thousands of the Crusades returning, broken in spirits and in health, sought as solemn in pastoral retreats and endowed the establishments that they entered with all their worldly goods. Besides all this, the stream of the ordinary gifts of piety was swollen by the extraordinary fever of religious enthusiasm which characterized the period into enormous proportions. In all these ways, the power of the papacy and the wealth of the Church was vastly argumented.
Thanks, Nicole. That sounds like a party. Anyways, that concludes our news segment. Stay classy, Scottsdale.